Good. Let's rock and roll. All right, here we go, gang. We are back for, I believe it's called Programming Talks.
Oh.
Programming Talks. That's what the last one called. Oh. With Rich Froning and others.
Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy. Got it.
I don't know what that is.
When does this come out?
Monday.
All right.
Maybe sooner.
There should be a lot of squatting in this one.
It's getting wild out there.
Wild
squatting.
Don't you worry. We're
Wow, so much squatting. So much squatting.
My knees hurt.
My knees hurt. That's why my knees hurt, I guess, probably, you know?
I thought I'd have to get into it before we derailed, but
no, let's derail it from the start.
Get it going.
I said a joke to somebody during the event. I was like, for a guy without a meniscus, this comp has a lot of squatting.
For context, it's only Tuesday and Sunday was the classic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think.
No, it wasn't.
I think it was good. I think every event went better than expected, honestly. The one that I thought was going to be way cooler was still cool, but not as cool. The one I was most excited about was Isabel. It was awesome. But like that first event was so good.
Oh yeah.
That it made Isabel like, oh, that's cool. You know, like, but man, that first event, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought that event was going to suck to watch.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I was not looking forward to like commentating it and talking for forever, but man, it was, they did not disappoint the athletes. That was impressive.
Yeah. The 2 laps through the building was clutch.
That was cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Whoever the drone driver was great till they crashed it.
Oh, they crashed it?
Yeah, they crashed it, which is awesome too. On the live stream, I was talking about how awesome the drone driver was, and next thing you know, bushes. Loved it. Oh. So yeah, man, there was drama. That was good.
The best Bambi legs I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, so
Copper
good.
and spread.
Yeah,
so
you know, like
that's what you want.
Yeah, that event was perfect. I said Isabel would be about 50-50 power and squat. I mean, you look at Abigail, she powered the whole thing and was impressive the entire way. Guy, who I thought would power it, squatted 28 of the reps.
Did you say why? I haven't asked him.
He said that like he just goes until like
he feels
like
it.
His position change. Like he just lets his position change naturally.
I mean, it was fine.
And he chooses to like not pull the bar higher. It's easier for him.
Yeah, I mean, he smashed it.
Makes sense.
But yeah, you know, and then even the thruster was like, even with dumbbells, it was low. It was a high number of squatting, but it really wasn't though. You know, it was like the squat was 100 pounds with the feet stack, 170. It was almost identical with the dumbbells. And to me, a dumbbell thruster is more of a shoulder movement than anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then the
lunge is not a squat. It is a leg movement. You could say that, but it's not a squat.
Single leg flexion.
If I can still do it without pain, it's not a squat. You know, like. And then saying the echo bike is you're like, come on, now we're stretching. And I'm fine with, having critical feedback if it's on something like this where we can talk it out. But putting something on social media is just dividing further. Like, and then to say that tired of divisiveness and arguing. So it's just like, get over it.
Yeah. I was just shocked how much.
That's just my opinion.
My opinion.
I was shocked how much the squatting
in event
movement pattern affected the legless and the run one. Like I didn't expect. I expected James to be able to like beat a Colton on that.
Yeah,
but like he couldn't do it. Like he couldn't legless fast enough to keep up, and Colton was leglessing fast enough
that he could stay ahead.
Yeah,
I think it's more of an upper body, like holding the dumbbells in those positions. Like it affects your legless way more than. With a barbell. If it was the barbell, then it maybe becomes more of a thruster test, but I feel like, or more of a leg drive test, but I feel like the arms were affected more.
Legs definitely matter in that, but it's more of a shoulder arm upper pull.
I mean, I think at the end of the whole weekend, if you looked at both, there was 2 workouts where the bigger guys prevailed, and there was 2 workouts where the smaller guys prevailed. So then, it ends up being pretty Isabel even. Was kind of like a wash.
Did y'all think about making Isabel first, or did y'all? Assuming I know it was intentional, but
it was intentional with the night it being that way. The idea, we didn't really have a strong way. Like we programmed all the workouts, me, Angelo, and Darren, and then we brought it. Well, Scott might have been in on that conversation as well. From a media perspective, Scott is like, I don't know anything about programming. Don't throw me into it. So we kind of but from a media perspective, I wanted his input. And so the idea was like, we wanted that shorter, faster event. We kind of wanted, we're like, we'll just get that first one out of the way. It needs to be there. I hated it. I actually had a longer test that was no running, which it needed to be running. I wanted it to be, here was the deal. It was like, we were trying to combine we wanted it to be a show while also putting on a really good test. I didn't want to sacrifice the test too much, but I also wanted, like, we needed it to be cool.
Show
we
party
didn't want to,
one,
like,
test party 1A.
Yeah, we didn't want it to be like, oh, cool, guys, you put on an event and, you know, we got the fittest, but it was really boring to watch. Yeah. And so there was this fine line we were trying to balance. I think we in hindsight now, I'm like, it worked out flawlessly. I was a little worried, but I was like, you know, I don't want guys running on runners.
Yeah.
I don't want a ton of machines. They're hard to watch. They're hard to follow, even with low calories. I do like that Echo muscle up just because of the feeling of it. Yeah. But man, it turned out better than expected. I thought it was going to be a good test overall. You know, from a programming's perspective, you wanted to make sure it was a good test, but I thought the athletes did an incredible job with the show. You always hope that, like, the test doesn't overshadow what they, you know, like, I don't want people standing around trying to do crossover double unders and all this. Like, some of that stuff might look cool, but then it's just like, at the end of the day, it's like, man, just get back to what we used to do, and people freaking loved watching it. Like, it doesn't have, we don't have to church it up that much. Like, you know, everything was like pretty historical, but also like little modern twist on it, maybe a little heavier, maybe a little, you know, like different skill, whatever. So the athletes did incredible, and that's really what we wanted to make sure was there was no like tricks or gimmicks. Like, it wasn't anything like, it was just like simple, but man, the athletes put on the show. And that's what it should be.
What I didn't think about too, I mean, I watched Hiller's video, but in 14, 15, we forget like how much squatting used to be in every event, semifinal, regional, all of it. You know, so we've just slowly drifted for whatever reasons. Right. Yeah. And yeah, that was pretty normal back in the day.
Consensus from most of the athletes I talked to was that they're very thankful there was not more than 5 events.
No, I know. At first, everybody was all upset.
Yeah, like the day of, and then when they finished the next day, like most people were saying that.
Right.
They were like the most sore they've been in a while.
Yeah.
So, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, and you've probably very arguably found the fittest.
Yeah, I think so.
One more day, maybe flipped
but
one.
Man, we tried, you know, like originally. So I think
one was beating Austin. Nobody.
I think originally we had the days flipped. I think we were going to try to do 3 events and 2 events. I can't remember what it was, and I don't remember the order, but Josh wanted a third score on the final day. And so we just sat there and we were like, where can we add another event? And I'm just like, with what we were trying to do with condensing the time window to, you know, 5 hours where people could just kind of like sit down and watch it and not be in front of the TV all day, this was the best option we came up with. Yeah. And it was still an endurance test because everything was condensed. Like, the athletes were wrecked, you know, and everybody was like, oh, only, you know, when does the 6th event get announced? And I was like, there's no, like, there was no trick to it. There was like no 6th event. And then when you were like, all the events aren't in there. They're not in there. They were all in there minus a typo by Dre. Dre didn't know the events, and we're just sending him workouts to put on that thing, and we would intermix the like actual events, and somehow 2 of them got merged together. The handstand walk and snatches for 5 rounds. It's like 100-foot handstand walk, 5 squat snatches for 5 rounds got mixed with the GHD lunge handstand walk. And so it looks like we just tacked on 5 squat snatches on it. And so everybody's like, that workout doesn't even make sense. I was like,
that's why I chose it.
Yep. Because it was a typo.
I was like, this looks so stupid.
So dumb. Why would they do that?
I was convinced 7 events, maybe 6. Yeah. That definitely threw me for a loop.
I mean, I think even if you look at it, if there's 3 things in my head that I was like, okay, you could have put a 6 workout. You needed like maybe a handstand push-up, a double under, and like a lower pull. But if you put that in, the 2 people that won on both sides, I think still win. So then what's the point of the test? It's like just an extra filler.
Just want to watch them suffer one more time. That's the point.
Just an extra filler workout. But I still think like Fee and Abby are at the top, and I still think Austin and Colton are. If you put a handstand push-up double under workout,
I think the most Hatfield was impressive with how well he did. Colton was impressive, but I think the most impressive was Fee. Like, she crushed it all weekend. There was a couple events.
She's on fire right now.
Even the handstand walk GHD, I was like, oh, this is the one. You know, this is the one that's going to keep her out. She just kind of like just did it right, you know?
Yeah, watching her do the 25-foot at a time on the lunges.
Yeah, you're like, oh, she's dead. She's done. And then she just slowly did it. You're like, gosh, dang it.
How's hyping me up?
Yep, for sure. Also, I liked, it bothers me in workouts when there's just throwaway movements.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter, like the double under in 25.2.
There was no throw. You know me though. I'm not putting throwaway movements.
No, you had to be good at everything.
Like no throwaway, no filler.
I wanted it to not hinge on one movement. You know, like it was all kind of equally there. I mean, you could argue that GHD it might hinge on because of how many GHDs there were. If you're a Mayhem athlete, you know that you're going to see that. So, and if you're James Sprague and cheat the GHD, then, you know.
Egregious.
Clip that and put it in there. You know, so.
She's getting so much hate.
Yeah.
People are texting me like, what's the standard on a GHD? I'm like.
That was egregious. I mean, from the booth, I hated it, you know, champ to champ.
You did a pretty good job on the streams. Like, I don't know what they're doing the standard out there. I don't think that's what we.
We tried to be as hands off as possible. And even Jules, like when he practiced that, she was like, "Nope, that's a no rep." But then you get out there and it just happens. You know, like it's frustrating being the event organizer or director, whatever my title was, on the mic, not trying to trash him, but also be like, "That's exactly what I didn't want to happen." You know, like. It's basically an ab mat sit up what he's doing at that point. You know, like I hate to put all these rules on the athletes and have all these like kind of obscure standards, but when you do stuff like that, then you have to and I get that he's trying to find the fine line or people are trying to find the line of like what's legal and what's legal, but the more you do stuff like that, the more they're going to add stupid rules, you know?
It is odd though, Jorge still beat him off every set of GHDs. So didn't really help him that much on the GHD because he just ended up beating Jorge on the lunge because Jorge failed the lunge overhead. Otherwise, Jorge probably would have beat him.
Oh, yeah.
So it ended up not being his GHDs
clutch
that won him.
No, Jorge caught him on
the GHDs
every time. His cycle rate was way faster.
Yeah.
Cycle rate. Boom. Well, mini classic programming talk.
That's probably there it is. We're done.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, it's good. I used like 90% of what was on the picture in the programming.
I know. We just gave away free programming for everybody for like a year. You know.
That's okay. They'll keep coming back. The segue, we're going to talk now some about, which is perfect for next cycle. This is the freedom cycle. We just finished the compete cycle appropriately. It actually ended with the classic, even though some of the guys on it were at the classic. But what we're doing this year is different. So CrossFit season changed again, as we all know and are well aware.
No.
Never. So we had a decision, like, what do we do now if you're open?
Get ready to compete all summer. That's what you're going to do. You're going to go find a local competition. You're going to go support your local CrossFit community, and you're going to go do some events.
That's exactly right.
Is that what I was supposed to say?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And if you
that wasn't rehearsed. I was even if it was against what Jake was going to.
We're going to change the whole plan.
We're going to change the whole plan.
And on top of that, hopefully you do that. That's priority 1A. We're going to do the Community Cup 2, which is online. There's no way to make it in person. Well, maybe there's a way, but it's not yet. Which is June 9th. So it's a 9-week cycle. It's kind of part 2 in a sense of the compete cycle, which was ramp up, get in the open, compete through that, then go on to back end of March into April, segue into this freedom cycle. So it is going to build for 9 weeks. At the end of it's Community Cup. We'll have them programmed to Mayhem Athlete. Mayhem Affiliates will be doing it. So everyone everywhere in our hub will be doing the Community Cup. As we understand it, it's going to be 3 workouts, kind of quarterfinal-esque is what it seems to say, like skills, things that weren't tested in the open there. But I want to reiterate, like Rich said, please go somewhere local. There's no way to mimic it other than just being there in person, throwing down, like we were talking about the classic. Like, we knew those dudes are super fit. Obviously, they're going to do that, but there's no way to showcase that unless you actually get in the comp, to get on the competition floor, experience that, get better, try to win. If you lose, is okay.
Most train for something.
Yeah.
Have fun. Give you an end game or an end goal, something to like shoot for, or else kind of what's the point, you know? Nah, there's a point. Obviously, we want to get fit for life and do all those things, but still, it's fun to get out there and compete, throw down, and like train for something.
If you're listening to this, you probably love training already in the gym. A lot of people do anyways, just train their face off, but having something to train for will, 1, competition expose what you need to work on. 2, it's experience to motivate you to get back in the gym and train so you don't get burnt out as much. And then 3, it gives training a purpose and something else. Hey, let's progress towards this versus just training super hard all the time before the wheels go off.
Yep.
Dom, anything to add?
I think all the European comps have a lot of the community divisions. If we have European people following, compete. Like most of those comps that are semifinals have other divisions.
Community division. Yeah, they do.
So they should, like, people should look at that. I know SoCal for Wadapalooza just released all their community divisions. And it's just like there's no qualifier for it. It's just like first come, first serve entry,
That's cool.
I think.
Heck yeah.
So it's like RX division, I think an intermediate division, and like a scaled or open division, something like that. And you can just sign up.
Yep.
They have like a limit, but it's a good one if you're on the West Coast and you don't want to do a qualifier, like first time comp type stuff. Honestly, I had a couple people do it last year and it was good.
You may be late, but look it up. Like Dom said, we're partnering with Wadland. That's in Spain, one of the semifinals. They should have a community division. It's in a couple weeks. Roman will be there. Oldest, he'll be there. Qualifying for the games with Roman.
Roman and Oldest.
Yes, please, Lord. Then the beginning of May, we're partnering with French Throwdown. I should know this, but I'm pretty sure they have community division as well. Pretty confident. Throughout May, you got TFX, maybe has one. Google them if they do.
I think they might.
Like they do. And then Syndicate
does. I just don't know if you had to qualify for the TFX ones or not through their qualifier. That's the only thing I don't know.
Good point.
I was a little late to look at their stuff because I only have one person in the West. But
yep. And then NorCal, you may have to qualify. I'm not sure if they have any open spots too. They're beginning in June. But all these, kudos to all the semifinals doing a community division. Outside of that, to give a little maybe sneak peek, we're going to try something new of putting out like a survey to allow people to submit their local competitions just into a spreadsheet. It'll give date, location, link, and all the details you need. So when we say, hey, go compete, we'll have a resource for you guys on Mayhem Athlete app, some other places like Facebook groups. So you can just say, hey, I want to go compete in the next couple of months. What's options near me? And we'll have local comps along with the bigger ones too that we'll be at. But those are like, hey, local gym in Alabama might be throwing down. If you submit to this, we'll get you on the list so people around you know they can go compete with their local community.
Yeah, the pairs division for Syndicate looks fun. I was looking at the workouts.
Oh, yeah.
JR's doing that, right? Probably. Yeah, JR, I mean, I like his program. I mean, he kind of has some mayhem tendencies, which I don't necessarily know if they're mayhem tendencies. I think they're kind of old school CrossFit tendencies, right? So,
Yep. Usually the comps are very balanced programming. But he does a good job with team programming. I find team programming extremely hard, actually.
It is.
Unless you compete on it, yeah, for sure. Once you compete in it, you're kind of like and there's almost, I mean, we can get super nitty gritty in this, and like, you've got relays workouts, you've got synchro pairs workouts, you've got all 4 people workouts, you've got like, there's this, I enjoy it.
All 4 people is where I struggle the most.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, worm helps, but if they don't have a worm, that type thing, that's where.
But that's where the real like math and
are.
like the real like programming comes out in it. So that's also just it's where my brain goes and thinks.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
When
they don't have one judge,
that's really hard. Okay. That's when it gets real hard. 2 judges is doable, but 1 judge is very hard.
Like a judge per pair would probably.
Well, then
be
you got spacing and how many people can fit on a bar and blah blah blah.
I did like that in the quarterfinal workout last year for the games season. They had like the guys and girls split off to synchro toes to bar, and you had to have a judge per pair. And then like they came back for all 4.
If you have 2 judges, it opens up a lot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Masters Fitness Championship. I guess pairs, you only have 1 judge, which is the same thing we're talking about. But you just can't be doing anything at the same time.
Unless it's synchro.
Yeah. Unless it's complete synchro. Yeah. Like you can't be having someone on this movement, movement.
When is that? That's going to be fun. Miley and
Let's be freaking awesome community event. But it is September. Oh, gosh. Know that, Jamie.
It's after the September age group games, right?
Yep. October 11th.
Oh,
October 11th.
Nice.
Age group pairs. I mean, Masters Fitness Championship, CrossFit pairs. We will be there in some capacity, but that's a lot of options and opportunities to compete. We'll have them on that COMM spreadsheet. We're going to call it for now. It'll be super simple, not dressed up, but we'll have all of them there where we can go throw down and let you know which ones we're at in full capacity versus which ones are just, hey, go do this as good local community comp. But with this, that means we're going to be doing a lot more competition like workouts. The way we have this slotted, keep it pretty basic, but we're going to go Friday and Saturday is kind of the focus. If you had to pick one of each week, where it will be competition like workouts with a good bit of weightlifting in those. We want to practice cycling barbell, cycling dumbbells, where all the movements will matter and things in the workouts won't be throwaway per se, but it might all hinge on that weightlifting movement. Your first workout on Friday, for example, is an 8-minute window, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 snatches at 185, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 shoulder runs. So you'll complete that and then go into AMRAP snatches, bring that barbell down to 115. So a lot of weightlifting in that one. The next day is the one actually Rich did, 12 rounds, 36 dubs, 9 bench press, 9 toes to bar.
So very Cindy-esque.
Good.
Very just quick, high, a lot of transition, quick transition. You see 3 different ways that workout works. You got me, Watkins, and Rory all doing it. So
oh, good.
Me doing it one way, and then Watkins being super short and, you know, like doesn't do skills a lot. And then you got Rory who kind of on the gymnastics starts to struggle, and it's pretty funny. So it should be a good little video.
The Rich, the open master athlete, and the Watkins.
Yep. Watkins is his own category.
Oh, that's good. So every Friday, Saturday I have workouts. It'll totally change up each week, the movements, pairing, time domain, but it'll be like, oh, this could be something I might see the comp, or help me focus on getting better at that weightlifting movements in the Metcons themselves. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will vary, but we're doing obviously a lot of interval work with CrossFit-like movements and then some monostructural intervals. Starting at the end of April, we're going to do Murph Prep for a month.
Murph Prep Mondays.
Don't forget about that. Murph Prep's coming. Always do. Actually, people love Murph Prep. I'm glad they do. Build a Murph.
I actually enjoy it too. I'm like, man, I should do this all year. And then after it's over, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. By the end of the 8 weeks, I'm like, all right, that's enough for me. I'm prepped for Murph. I don't want to do it. I'm like, it's just such a good Monday though, or whatever day. You're like, I can run a little bit, do some gymnastics. And then I'm like, by the end of it, I'm like, nope, don't want to do that anymore because there's some miserable ones in there.
Yeah. Yep. It's the grind.
I would say CrossFitters very underutilized the necessity to get good at running and push-ups, like just the standard push-up.
Yeah.
Push-up is so underutilized.
It's underutilized in training and overutilized. Well, it should never be a competition movement.
Yeah.
People standard. Are so bad at push-ups with the standard. Yeah. Like I was watching videos from the Atlas free workout, and I'm just like, that's no rep. That's a no rep. Yeah. That's not a push-up. I don't know what the hell that is. You know, like.
Yep.
Definitely 200 push-ups in Murph is just hands down the hardest part if you do good push-ups, like if you do actual push-ups.
It's almost tougher, yeah. My chest pulls up so fast.
It's the hardest thing ever.
When they did them at the games, it seems like, they did deal out a lot of no reps both times appropriately. So Murph Prep Mondays. Other days will be normal training. Like I said, interval style, mono work, gymnastic thrown in there. We are going to work through 5-6 week progression of handstand push-ups. Toes to bar will be on tail ends of the week, so we won't keep them together, so we won't overuse too much. But we want to work that now, building into what we might see in the Community Cup. And also, if you go to any local competition, very good chances you're doing toes to bar. Same thing with handstand push-ups. So we'll keep those in there, just increasing how many reps you can do in a short time domain and hopefully help your max reps on that too. The lifting on the first part of the week is going to be a good bit of Oli work, clean, a snatch, stay focused, more tech work into some top end strength, not a ton of volume because we're going to take care of the barbell cycling and the workouts. We'll keep you strong enough. We'll kind of move towards a little bit more volume, moderate volume on back squats with some moderate high percentage work. Then tail in the week, we'll work some front squat, maybe bench press in there too. But like we like to do a lot of times, once you dig in and see, it'll be alternating weeks. So week 1 might have back squats 10-8, 6, 8, 10 with varying percentages. And the next week's a little bit more high end on the percentage, lower end on the reps. So we'll touch both just because you never know what you're going to see. Keep you strong. Probably won't get a whole lot stronger, but you'll get better at moving the barbell for reps, whether it's a squat, clean, snatch, and then deadlift will be in there too, plenty in the workouts itself. The other focus, we got Murph Prep Monday, Thursday and Saturday, just follow normal compete or some other tracks like M60 scaled, will be aerobic progression geared towards running. Thursdays, you could technically do it any day, Monday through Thursday, will be the 1 mile progression. We're going to help build your 1 mile time. And then Saturday or another day later in the week, you can choose between a 5K and 10K progression. Thoughts were, talked with Henshaw, 5K, 10K definitely helps with Murph. 1 mile is kind of the most applicable to probably anything in CrossFit, that or the 5K you could argue. So we wanted to build those 2 gears for you guys, head in the Murph, and then if you're doing any local competition, your running should be on point, working those speeds and time domains on that. That is a big overview. So we got the aerobic, got that gymnastic work, trickled into strength Monday through Wednesday. Saturday, Friday will be primarily those Metcon focus. We'll go super hard in those, high intensity, and then finish up with some other work throughout the days on that. If you're doing a local competition, Dom, you can probably help me on this. How do you approach with your athletes? Obviously, they're going to be following this program. When do you recommend starting to taper, pulling back a little bit? And then what do you look like right after the comp? Let's say, hey, May 5th, I'm doing a competition that Saturday, that week. How should I taper? And then what should I do after that to get back into training?
Yeah. I think depending on the length of the competition, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, or depending on the amount of events, Like if you have a comp that's a 1 day with like 3 events in 1 day, probably just a couple of days off before is fine. I think if you're doing like a bigger comp like the Classic, I had some people who were like trying to make it their best comp. Usually if someone's like trying to really peak for a comp, it's 5 to 7 day taper.
Yep.
If it's not the main priority comp of the season, I'll do a 3 day taper. It's just kind of my rule of thumb. So if you're doing, I don't know, one of the community divisions, like at Syndicate, if you're doing pairs and you know it's going to be 2 or 3 days, I would probably taper like that week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, take your full rest day Thursday, and then if the comp starts Friday, you just compete Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I like that. Rule of thumb, depending on how fit you are, 7 to 5 days. And even in that taper, I'll still maintain some intensity, ease off on the volume, more machine type stuff, get that heart rate up, get a little bit of a burn, but also not like push too hard. Yeah. But I think exactly what Dom said. I think 7 days is like when you begin, if it's a big comp, like it's the one you're trying to qualify for something or it's a CrossFit game, 7 days, I'm going to start thinking about, all right, I want to be smart. Don't want to do anything that's going to, questionably get me hurt or anything like that. But then also I do like to maintain some intensity, and I actually prefer to sweat a little bit the day before. You don't want to get too caught up in just doing like a bunch of zone 2 or anything like that. You don't want to make yourself slow per se, so you want to keep the body thinking, all right, my problem is a lot of those days my body will finally be like, oh, we're resting, I'm gonna get sick, so I've got to be careful. Like it happens to me every time, and so got to be smart.
Yeah, that's good. Also, an easy way to do tapering sometimes for local comps is like if you do 2 sessions a day, just cut out a second session and like 2 or 3 days of single sessions, and every day just pull out a piece. And then another easy way is I like to help people taper is I just eliminate accessory work. So you just go in, hit your main Olympic lift, hit your Metcon, and then like that's it for the day.
That's it.
That's a good way to think about it. That's how we're going to taper right before the Community Cup. Yeah, we need to put that. We do have a resource for tapering. Probably needs to be updated a little bit, but essentially it's that easy way to think about it. Taper, pull back volume, deload, pull back intensity, and or volume with a deload too if you're full rest. Otherwise, and deload right when they're done with the comp. What do they do?
Oh yeah, after comp.
Like they went hard, like 2-3 days. Super.
Yeah, if this is your main thing, I like a week off, but that's just me. Some people can't handle that mentally. So usually what I tell people, I do this all the time.
Like Nina and Haley back at it today.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, actually, when they want to do something, I'm like, no like structured programming, go jump in on class.
Just go have
for
fun.
A week.
Go have fun.
Go do class for a week, go outside, like play pickleball or like go play pickup basketball or something.
Do what you like to do.
Just like fun stuff.
Do like what you like to do fitness wise. Go bodybuild or something.
When I was competing a ton, I used to just like go to the beach and like walk the beach down in Naples like every day when I did that, just because it was like nice during sunset.
Yeah.
Something random.
Love that.
Play basketball with my family or something. Just like fun stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes like jumping into class, if you're following compete and you haven't been in a class in a minute,
dude, I'm telling you,
so
class,
fun to do after comps.
Class will mess you up because somebody's always in there, especially if you're an athlete. They think, oh, I'm going to push this person. And you can like scale up, like make it to where you're getting the same intensity. And some of like the class workouts that I've done, you even look at them and you're like, it's not a ton. And then you get done, you're like, oh, that was a lot, like it's been good. Me and Gunks went head to head on one. I skied and he assault biked.
I would at least take 2 or 3 days completely off though, if I was you, minimum.
Agree with that. The third,
nothing wrong with a week. Don't be scared of a week off. It's good for you.
And the third, fourth day of class or bodybuilding or easy aerobic. Yep.
Lies. I work out in the hotel room.
Or you could do, what'd you do? Like Cal Sue in the parking lot one year after the games?
Like Cal Sue. Yeah.
That's a good one. Not at all.
That's when you know you have a problem. I believe that's the
yeah.
That's a real problem. Admission's the first step. To touch on, if you are a semifinal athlete, a 1%er, that was all for the 99% for the most part. You are going to peak for the online semifinals, which here in a few weeks. We got you guys in your semifinals games track all ready to go. It's all there. We'll peak you for, you're peaking now, and then we'll tape you right for online semifinals. We will have all the resources out like we typically do for what was quarterfinals. We're going to treat it like semis. Have a video, tips and tricks, strategy guides, all that for you. If you're a team, which there is, I think, almost 500 affiliates with the team doing the team online semifinals. Wow. We will also provide tips and tricks, teams, tips and tricks for you guys, warm-ups, strategies to go about the workout, and I'll try to get a taper out as well. because you're going 2 weeks before individuals. So kind of some moving pieces there.
Taper should start next weekend-ish, right?
Yep. They're actually going to do probably a little mock this weekend, a little bit. Yep. Next weekend, taper. Next weekend, go. Or as this releases, it would be this week would be the taper.
Yeah, Thursday. Yeah.
So we're talking in real time, not in published time. Other one, Masters. You guys just finished semifinals. What we're doing with you guys is Masters Open. If you're open athlete, 99%, we're going to peak for the Community Cup. Same thing we all said, all true. Go find somewhere local, throw down your Masters divisions, get after it. Should be fun. Tag us for sure, let us know. Hit the Community Cup together. If you're done with semifinals, we kind of want to encourage you to do the same thing. Semifinals was higher end, but in a sense, your Community Cup, quote unquote. So now in the next month or two, try to find somewhere local to throw down. Go beat some other people in local comps. Be like, hey, we were 1%. Let's show it out there. Other than that, you can go into the normal Masters track, follow that programming through the Community Cup. Then we'll get you guys in off-season mode after Community Cup. If you're a games athlete, you're on semifinals games track. With the Masters, we're taking care of you. You'll be a little bit different, but just go to that track, and we'll have your training set to peak you and build you up for the games later in August. Oh, there's so many categories now. It can only just be all one weekend.
Yeah. Session 2 for semifinals athletes should be in there through next Wednesday. Then next Wednesday they'll rest and do a mock.
Yeah, I just sent. Actually, you helped send. Yeah, we built some mock workouts for you guys. We do a mock online semifinal, which will be when this releases. I think this weekend. That'd be 2 weeks out.
Oh yeah, because this gets released next week.
That's confusing. Anyways, it's in the app. I promise, Mayhem Athlete. We got you mock weekend for that too. And then that's gonna be wild online semifinal. Holy smokes!
Probably deload after that, and then maybe try to after that. Aren't we extending out through NorCal and then doing like full off season?
Yep, good point. So we'll go. If you're a semifinal athlete, follow the training. We're gonna keep you all really going hard all the way through NorCal beginning of June. In case some of you guys are doing that or another comp like Syndicate, TFX, any of those. So if you want to go off season, then you can go off season anytime.
Isabel every other week for 4 weeks. Let's go.
Holy moly!
Get your minds right.
What if they do it in the online semi? That'd be so good.
245, 165. Isabel.
245, Isabel.
2021 online semis was the clean and jerk from quarterfinal last year with the same weights, but for snatch.
Oh,
so
yeah.
What if they did Isabel 240 heavier?
Gosh.
It's doable. I was looking at some of the scores on that. People in that workout were getting like 20 plus snatches at 245, 165.
All right, then there you go.
Well, I know I saw some of it. Sam got like 18, 19, I think.
Yeah.
And Fikowski, he got like 21, 22.
So it's
possible.
Just 30 alone because there was 30 reps before it.
You're right. Good gracious.
If that's an accurate guess, I'm retiring.
Done?
As a coach.
Quit? Yeah. Mark it here.
Someone's going to retire you.
I really like that workout, the snatch workout in general, though, with the increasing loads.
I think it's a great.
If they didn't want to do Isabel, just repeat that workout.
Yeah, it's a great to get everybody to get to play, and then you kind of fade out as it goes. That's why we've done a couple of those on online qualifiers with clean and jerks.
Yeah, it's really good.
Definitely. Always good to get everyone to play.
There are some awesome online semifinals workouts out here. The one with the 60 muscle ups, the one with the row legless.
I love that workout. Yeah. And then they had a friendly Fran again.
Yeah.
God, so dirty. Bad. God, so terrible.
The team version of that year was amazing. 3 rounds, 4-person synchro, thruster, chest to bar, bar facing burpee.
I forgot. We didn't have anyone do that.
Great team workout.
Cool. That's good. Where you competing the next, I don't know, this year?
Well, I've got the mountain bike race to prepare for, the 24 hours in Amarillo. The affiliate tour we're doing down to that I need to be prepared for. Might do some of the affiliate stuff depending on how it goes. Doing Fresh Coast, BCS, and then the 806 Classic we'll do again. 806, yeah, at least 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Good time. Get that to you guys. Anything else?
No.
Good. Boom.
That's it. That's all we got. Enjoy
the Freedom Cycle. Comment if you have questions or email programs@mayhemnation.com. Otherwise, hop on with us. Get in some freedom fitness.
Freedom fitness.
Freedom.
Peace.